Hey guys, James saying. So today will be a quick video on if you're a CVT student and you're getting ready to start your rotation. So some tips to make your life better. Number one, you should treat your rotation as if it's one long job interview. Okay, so you will be evaluated on what you do, how you act, your attitude, your interactions with other human beings. So ideally, if this is the hospital that you want to work at, it's kind of best if it's not your first rotation, because your first rotation, you're not going to know anything. And people know that. So even if you do, if you go to the hospital where you really want to work and it's your first rotation, people understand. Just try to get back to that hospital for your third or fourth or fifth rotation so that you can show and demonstrate your proficiency at whether it's typically scrubbing, sometimes recording. And if you can get some recording time, it all translates. It doesn't matter, what system you're recording on. Just the knobs and dials are different. The flow is the same in most labs. So treat it as it's a job interview. If you don't care about working there, well, then I guess you don't have to worry about it. But you're probably going to be looking for a job. So number two, I would say be open to learning. Realize that you may have more than one preceptor, and that's okay. Ideally, if you get one good preceptor, I guess it'd be bad if you had one bad preceptor, but you may have more than one preceptor, and oftentimes there is more than one correct way to do something. There's a whole lot of incorrect ways to do something, and that's okay. As a student, as a new person, you can learn multiple ways to do something. And then when you're not a student anymore, you can choose to do it the way that you think is best. So just be open to learning. And as you go through your rotations, just know that people are open to hearing about how other things were done at another hospital. And most people, they want, is that the way they do it over there? Most people are okay with that. But don't have the attitude like if you were doing a rotation at the 2,000 bed hospital and now you're working at the rinky dink 200 bed hospital, don't be the 2,000 bed hospital, this is the way they do it. And, nobody wants to hear the hospital A, they've got it over you, you're not doing it right. Okay, nobody wants to hear that. They'll be like, well, why don't you just go on back to hospital A? That really applies almost more to travelers, because I've been a traveler too. And people warned me that before I was a traveler, but this is way back in the 90s. Hey, nobody cares how you did it at your hospital. If you want to do it the way you did it at your hospital, why don't you go back to your hospital? You're not in that hospital anymore. So a lot of people have that attitude, but again, it depends how you broach and talk about the subject. People are open to hearing how things are done in different places. Most people are interested. It just depends how you present it. The third point I'd say is be as busy as your preceptor or busier. So you should not be sitting down or taking a break if your preceptor is not sitting down or taking a break. I don't see that very often, but you do see it sometimes. Don't be that guy or that girl. And on that point, the next point I'd say is like, stay off your cell phone. Man, don't be getting personal phone calls. When you're on your rotation, personal text, you're always pulling out, I got to get, oh, my kid, oh, my mother, oh, my husband, my boyfriend, my wife. Okay, well, you just pretty much guaranteed you're not getting a job, because you're going to be like, your home life interferes too much with your work life. People realize you have a life, and people realize if you have an emergency. But if you're doing your rotation 1 or 2 or 3 days a week, and this is like a daily occurrence that you're on your phone, you're probably not going to get a job offer there. You're going to get turned down if you do interview there. Next, I would say after you graduate, take your RCIS exam as soon as possible. It probably will be required at most places that you go to work. Some places will say it's strongly encouraged. But if you're candidate student A interviewing for a job and candidate student B, you guys are both on the same level and you're both equally liked, and candidate student B has their RCIS and you don't, the RCIS person is going to get the job. So the longer you wait to take your RCIS exam, the harder it most likely will be. The further you get away from that mode of studying, because you just got out of school, most of the stuff is still fresh in your mind, and your study for the exam will be a refresher. But if you wait 6 months or a year, it's just that much harder for most people. And then lastly, I'll end with, don't ever lie and don't ever bullshit. So people don't expect you to know very much unless you're like getting near the end of your rotations. So if you don't know how to do something, say, I don't know how to do that, or I need somebody to back scrub with me on that. And don't ever lie. Like if you know, like for example, I have seen somebody contaminate themselves, and you know they know it because they did it, and then they stopped for just that split second, looked at what happened, and they went on. People are going to be like, holy shit, you know you just contaminated yourself, and you kept going. You don't care about the patient. You don't care about the patient's infection rate. I've seen people contaminate themselves and not be aware of it. And that's okay, because like when you're new and everything's overwhelming, you may do something and reach down and you may reach up and scratch your face for all I know. That's okay if you're new and you're overwhelmed, but my God, if somebody thinks you purposely lied, like did you give that? Did you do that? Yeah, I did. Oh, you didn't do that. Did you put heparin in that bowl? Okay, you cannot lie about anything. You are guaranteed a word will spread about you. You'll have trouble finding a job. So don't be that person. All right, guys, thanks so much. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. It would help my channel. And if you found the information helpful or useful, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, remember to turn on notifications so that you don't miss when the next video comes out. All right, guys, thanks so much. We'll see you in the next video.